guys, it's Dana and it's time to talk about money. And in this video, we're going to talk about where your money is going. What the heck? All right, let's get to it. Okay, do you really know where your money is going every week? I am going to tell you. I really strongly encourage that you take 7 minutes every week to do a money check-in. Where's your money gone this past week? If you want to do it on a Friday, on a Saturday, on a Monday. So I would just say pick a day and try to stick to that day. I remember many years ago, story time, many years ago, it was terrifying for me to look at my bank account. And I just avoided it at all costs. And then obviously that's why we ended up in debt and then having trouble. And that's why I now have a money YouTube channel. It's just like, therapists, people who go into that field of work often have a lot of childhood issues, they say, or things that they're trying to work through themselves. But back in the day, I did not want to look at my account. I didn't want to see what was going on. Our account would be overdrawn when I would look at it. And I'd be like so stressed out. I'd have to rush to the bank and try to, deposit money. I have to ask my mom to give me some money so I could deposit it, and then I'd pay her back so I get my account in the clear. So if you don't look at your account, if you don't know what's going on, that's when things go wrong. I really do feel that way. Like it's like so hard though to get yourself to look at it because it's not really quote fun. It's not something like, it's not like watching Seinfeld episodes or The Office, right? You want to, who wants to, go on and look at their bank? Well, I do now because I like to, because I feel like it gives me a sense of control. I know what's going on and things have been way better since I now know what's going on. So even that way, if your account does get overdrawn, you know it right away that day, you see it happening, and then you can take the steps necessary to either transfer money from another account or go and quickly, take a picture and deposit a check, by mobile app and get it in there. So it's important to see it, because if you let it go for too long, there is absolutely nothing worse than like getting that letter from the bank or a call, saying your account's overdrawn, and then it like compounds upon itself, and then you get fee after fee after fee. So if it's overdrawn for too long, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. And I have been there. I've gotten this fee after, gotten the fee. The next day, something else goes and that bounces or doesn't go through, and then I get another fee. And so it's just like, whoa. And then you just want to sob your eyes out. You feel like a big loser, and you're just like, oh my God, I suck. And then it's just terrible. Nobody likes feeling that way. And you're not a loser. You're not a loser just because your account is overdrawn. All right. It just means that you're getting sloppy and you're not looking at it. So if you look at your bank account, you do this money check-in, take one day a week, and you have to, at least one day a week. I look every day. Never, not a day goes by that I'm not looking. Whether you want to pick a time, maybe even every day I like to do it in the morning when my head, I feel more awake and whatever. If you're a morning person or a night person, you want to pick a time where you're feeling positive. You're not feeling like down in the dumps. You want to be as strong as you can mentally to look at your bank account. So I like to do it in the morning hours. Things don't always seem as bad in the morning. So just in case you look at something and it doesn't look good, I like to look at things in the morning. So you have that time. Maybe as soon as you start your work day, you just look at your bank app and you look and see, make sure everything looks good, nothing's overdrawn, no scary withdrawals on there, because this is the other reason you want to do these money check-ins. Because if you have fraudulent charges that are not your own, like, wow, what is this, like, $3.73 that was charged on my card, at this random tiki bar. I don't remember going there. And a lot of times when your card is stolen, they do little tiny transactions to see if anything happens, and then they go for the big transactions. So and you're not going to necessarily notice that. Hopefully your bank picks it up and sends you some kind of text alert to say, hey, did you make this charge? But if you are looking at your account, you'll see it and be like, that's not mine. And you'll be able to catch, fraudulent charges much faster and put a close on your debit card or hold on it, so that they can't charge anything further, and then you can cancel the card, get a new one. So that's another reason to do these check-ins. Okay, so with our check-ins, we're going to see if we are also sticking to our budget. Are we overspending for the week or for the month? Like, where are we? Are we on track here? Like, what's our budget looking like here? And then as you're checking and you're noticing things, you'll be able to make adjustments as needed. So if you underspent on a budgeted category, then you can be like, woo, we can take that extra money and I'm going to pop it into my emergency fund savings account instead because we saved money. We didn't spend as much this week on our groceries. If you overspent, maybe for this next week, you'll be like, all right, we're going to spend less. So this is all like what budgeting is, right? Flexibility. You have a certain amount of money that you're going to be spending on certain categories each week. And in order to make sure you're sticking to them, you have to do these money check-ins on your bank account to see, like, are you on track with what you're supposed to be spending, or are you doing even better than what you thought you would do? So yay for you if that's the case. Now, I suggest going in to your bank and setting up alerts if you can. So I assume you have your bank app on your phone. Everyone has a phone, all right? Pretty much right. Does anyone not have a phone? If you don't, leave it down below in the comments. All right. So if you've got your phone and you've got your app for your bank, then you can go into your bank, sign in, and set up alerts. So that way you will be notified if anything is spent over a certain amount. Like, let's say you don't usually spend over $1,000. So you want an alert, or maybe I have alerts set for every transaction. Okay, maybe you're like, whoa, that's way too many. But every single time my debit card is hit, I get a text alert that says you spent $23.22 at Goodwill, right? So it says it on there, right? And I like that because then I can immediately see, what was spent and where. And so I know then if somebody has taken my debit card numbers and is trying to buy something. But so I would suggest setting up some alerts because it also helps to give you, like, for some reason, like, you're buying the item and like you get your people don't even get receipts anymore. A lot of times people don't even print out receipts. They just, tap or whatever and then they're out of there. But like if you get that alert on your phone, you're going to see, oh, you spent this money. And for some reason, I feel like psychologically it like helps you to be like, oh yeah, whoops, okay, maybe I spent that money. I better should you have even spent that money? Okay. It's like, so it kind of is more like you're aware of it. You're aware of what's going on or what your partner is doing. If you have a joint checking account, you can see each other, like what you're spending. So, but you can set up all kinds of alerts like that. Also alerts that indicate like if some kind of international charge has gone on your card, you can get that from your bank. So go through and see the alerts that you can set with your bank and then set them to your preference. However, if you just want to see charges or transactions that are over $50, you could do that. But like on my kids' accounts, like I have it set up so with their bank accounts, because they're younger, I have to have it be like a joint. So anytime they buy anything over $1, I get an alert so that I can see what they're spending or if their card has been stolen and someone is running around town buying stuff with their card. All right, so get those alerts set. Okay, so reality versus our assumptions is very different. And that's, in closing here, why doing money check-ins is very important and setting up alerts and being aware. Because what we think is happening is, or what, we assume we're spending is most of the time not reality. I don't know why this is. I think I read something about even like our memories are faulty. Like we go through these experiences and we come back and we retell it to someone else and it's actually not really exactly really what happened. Like our memory, I find that so fascinating. It's like you just went through it last week and you come back and you're talking to someone and like you think you remember it crystal clear, but you kind of are off still. So I feel like in reality, what's really happening is different than our assumptions. So that's why we have to be aware, do the money check-ins, look at our account, have these alerts set up to tell us, pending charges or posted activity of what's going on, so that we can be in charge of it and be aware and make adjustments and, make sure that things are happening the way we want them to happen with our money, which is important. It's a big, important thing in our lives so that we're not overspending or even underspending. Maybe you need to spend more in your life. You've got like all this savings and you're out of debt and like you're being a penny pincher to the extreme and you need to spend a little money. You need to go out and enjoy your life a little bit more maybe. So that's also important. Like you got to, know that as well. Like, are you just, being a little bit hard on yourself or your spouse and not letting them spend as much as they could because you've got this massive savings and they're, wanting to live a little bit more or just go out to eat more. So, but you don't really know it if you're not tracking it, right? So, yeah, so that's why I suggest doing it. Like I said, set a time aside the day of the week or, the time and just try to make sure you do it. So I'd say make it a goal and maybe it's a spring thing. Okay. All right, guys. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if it's your first time here, and I'll talk to you in the next video.